And there we're live. That was very sudden. Let me bring this up to equality here. There we go. So we've got like another minute or two. We will wait for folks to show up and join in. I will open up chat in case somebody has any questions. As we're waiting for folks to show up and attend, David, thanks, by the way, for giving me a chance to speak to the Minvo audience on what we may do more than one of these, I think, as a series here.
Yeah.
And so this first one here is about Google Ads, specifically because when we first did onboarding, because I'm now doing some go-to-market for you, I just was in your Google Ads structure talking about what to do. You were like, oh man, a lot of this information I wished I'd known. And I went, there's a good webinar to do. Because some of the audience that will be joining is from my network and not just yours, do you want to talk a bit about what Minvo is, who you guys are, what you do?
Yeah, absolutely. Minvo is a video platform for businesses and creators to help streamline all of their short form content. As many people know, as important as Google Ads is for business, short form video has also become a table stake. So being able to take any kind of long form content you're creating, whether it's a solo cast, a podcast, webinar like this one, and turn it into some content marketing quickly and easily. Minvo makes that easy with AI, helping you find the best parts of the video, edit them, and distribute them across all the social channels that your business or your team has.
Excellent. And as somebody who's gotten big in on short form video in the last year, right? That's how I actually first met y'all. Was I think on an AppSumo deal where you were available. And yes, having a good way, speaking as a user of Minvo, having a good way to go through, find the best clips, tweak them a little bit, because I always, right, you got to tweak it a tiny bit, and then get them uploaded across all of your channels. I mean, I had, just this week, I think I've had 2 people reach out because they've seen content on social media and went, hey, let's talk. Every single lead I have, regardless of whether they're from cold email or affiliate partnerships or whatever, all of them have seen my content on LinkedIn. All of them go, Trevor must know what he's talking about. Look, he won't shut up. And that's got a lot of value. So aside from Google Ads, which is what we're here to talk about, and now we're 2 minutes in, I think we're maybe ready to actually hop into this discussion. Definitely if you're entrepreneur, business owner, or just curious, right? Because some of the people on your list, maybe, David, aren't deeply into Minvo yet. Definitely check it out. The ROI on it is very high. You can reliably, in an hour a week, produce all the content you need for the week and have good quality stuff going out. So, cool. I think that's it for setup. I will bring David back in a little later on because, as I mentioned, he and I were in his ad account, and he's like, oh, man, I wish I'd known a bunch of stuff before you started to work with me. Talk a bit about what his ad account actually looks like, why he set up things he did. But first, let's take a moment here and talk about how to structure your Google Ads so they actually make you money. And this is a topic with a couple different pieces in it that are relevant here. So first up, why believe me? I've been doing this a long time, is the short answer. I'm nearly 20 years in startup marketing, which makes me feel old. I've grown a lot of companies from 0 to more than 3 million in revenue, using performance marketing as a key part, if not the only part, in almost all of them. And some as far back as 2006, some as recently as 2022. Now at CrowdTamers, my agency, I need to update this slide. I've launched more than 70 at CrowdTamers. 3 of them have raised a bunch in 2022. A couple other raised a bunch in 2023. And we built $77 million marketing engine in the last 3 years with the only go-to-market agency I know of for startups with a guarantee, because we build systems that work repeatably, and Google Ads are part of those systems. And knowing how to set these up repeatably is really important to being able to be successful. So let's talk a bit about what I mean by Google Ads here, because there are a variety of different Google Ads you could run. You could run Google Search Ads, you could run Google Display Ads, you could run YouTube ads. There's both the display network of actual display ads. There's AdSense where you're showing up on some random website, where they're trying to earn money on display impressions. There's a lot of ways you can have ads run through Google. I'm old enough to remember back when Google only did display ads, back before they bought DoubleClick. And I was buying ads on DoubleClick separate from Google way back in the day. And one example, a clear way to think about what we're going to talk about here is a classic Google search ad. Now, what I'm going to talk about today will apply broadly in almost any sort of ad you want to run on Google. But to simplify our messaging, kind of keep everything on point so we're not getting lost in the sauce, because you can easily spend, I just saw the ad the other day. I think Google's ad certification program has 14 hours of courses, right? We're not going to spend 14 hours today. So just Google ads. And there are a few interesting things here I want you to pay attention to. One is I searched for FreshBooks here, and then there's an ad that says, you meant HoneyBook, right? Which obviously, no. I searched for FreshBooks. I wanted that. This says up here, ad. Oh, this is a sponsored post. I'm also old enough to remember back in the day when you used to get 2 ad slots and the rest was organic search results. Now you frequently have 6 ad slots, which means you have to scroll, see more ads, and then scroll again before you get to an organic search result. But whatever. What we're seeing here is Google's AI, based off what it knows about you and about search trends in general, is going to be serving an ad to you. And there are a few things that are happening in the background that you don't see. In a perfectly structured ad account, what's happening in the background is there are several ads all grouped together that are relatively typed the same way. Google is picking from one of them based off of what you search for, find one that it thinks is most likely to get either the click or the conversion on your website and serving it to you. And then Google is observing what happens, both in terms of the scroll time. There's a reason why Google gives Chrome away for free. Google can see scroll time, dwell time, mouse time, everything in your Chrome browser, and uses that to inform all of their choices in their advertising. They're going to look at scroll time, dwell time, at click. They're going to see what you do on the website. Right? All of this becomes part of how it's optimizing. And it's then going to go back to the advertiser and try to charge them the most it can for the click that you're willing to pay. And you, of course, as the advertiser, are trying to pay the least you possibly can for the conversion. So we have kind of diametrically opposing desires here. Google used to, I'd argue, be better about not being completely one-sided around we want to be as extractive as we can. Take all the money from you we can, and then hopefully you can still earn a living on top. Used to be that way. It's not as good as it used to be. That means we have to be smarter as advertisers spending money on Google to, one, help the AI, but also build stuff that means even when the AI might go awry, we're doing the right thing. So, Google search ads, bunch of stuff happening in the background. Okay. There are really only 3 kinds of ads. I'm not now discussing the actual, like, is it a search, is it a display, is it a video, but rather what the ad is intended to do. And these are based off of what you want to see come out of the person who sees the ad. One of them is awareness ad. I exist. I am bright. I am colorful. Pay attention to me. So an awareness ad is somebody who, they might be anywhere in the buyer's journey, but you're saying, hi, hello, it's me. I exist. Can I, in some way, get your attention? That is generally the lowest value ad. That is generally going to be the one that you pay the least for, but also expect the least of. It does have its utility, and I'll talk about it later when you actually want to run awareness ads. Most every business out there on their first ad campaign or even their second ad campaigns, you do not want awareness ads. Awareness ads are a tool that's easy to waste all your money on unless you're building some sophisticated advertising campaigns. The next type of ad is somebody who is thinking of and aware of they have a problem. You can see this little Lego guy. He's depressed. He knows something is wrong. At that point, usually when you're where you have a problem, there's 2 states of problem. One is problem aware but not bothering to fix it. And the other is problem aware but not yet actively finding the solutions. You're beginning your journey. You might be looking for things like, for Minvo, right? Make video shorts from podcasts. Okay. You have no idea how it is done. You've seen a lot of people are doing it. You want it too. And your problem is you have a podcast, no one's watching. Cool. We're problem aware, but we're not yet the last stage here, which is solution aware. I'm aware there's something that can solve the problem, and I'm beginning to think about paying for it. Now, there's a trap here because a ton of people say, well, solution aware is the guy who got the dollar bills. That's the guy I want to have hearing about me. Generally, when you're solution aware, you're headed on your way to deciding to either buy or maybe just live with life as it is and you're sad and depressed. But you've started your research, you're far enough along now where if you get a hold of this person, you're trying to change their mind from, I was going to buy this, but now maybe buy this. They've already got momentum in a given direction. It can be really hard to overcome that momentum, particularly in some B2B sales, where the sales cycle might be 3 months, 6 months, 12 months. If you come in on month 11 of a 12-month cycle, probably not going to win that deal. So there are times when you want to get a hold of the solution-aware people, but there's definitely also plenty of time when you want to find the problem-aware people. So I haven't even gotten yet to the ad structure, right? We're still on the theory of what makes an ad campaign work. Who do you want to pay attention to you? When do you want to have them pay attention to you? I would note on the B2C side, this all gets compressed. I'm sure all of us have seen this. You've been on the internet, you saw an ad for something so dumb, you had to go to the store and buy it right away, right? Awareness, there was what the problem is I suffer from ennui. I want something to lighten the burden of existence. I've now seen, I don't know, chicken slippers that every time you step on them make that horrible inflatable chicken noise. And I go, yes, my wife will hate it. I have to buy a pair. And there you go, right? $25, let's go. From unaware to bought in 10 minutes. That does happen. Most of the time, if your product has any kind of long-term value, there's going to be some research before somebody buys. I mean, chicken slippers, okay, we buy. But even things like a book, I might check out the dust jacket, read the book, peruse the pages a bit, spend a little bit of time before I decide to actually buy it and think, does it solve my problem? Is this the right sort of entertainment for me? So this does get compressed. B2B business cycles can be a year. B2C business cycles are probably less than a week. But these phases all do happen. And knowing how tightly these phases happen and when the best time for you to acquire your particular client is a big part of understanding how to structure your ad campaign. So, okay. This is another way to talk about something that you've probably all heard of before, a sales funnel. This is a classic sales funnel. This is taught at Harvard and at Y Combinator and a bunch of places. This is Dave McClure's Pirate Metrics funnel. There's one problem with it. I don't like sales funnels. I kind of hate them. They fall apart as an analogy for a few reasons. One of the reasons they fall apart is if you've ever used an actual funnel, everything you put on the top of the funnel comes out the bottom. That's why you use a funnel. You don't use a funnel to have most of it ending up on the countertop and the floor and the walls and the ceiling. But a sales funnel, 0.5% goes from top to bottom. Not a funnel, it's a sieve at best. And the other thing is, I only have one funnel in my house. That's a lie, I have two. But I only have two funnels in my house. And I use them all. I have the one funnel with the small hole for thin sauces and the one funnel with the big hole for chunky sauces. That's it. I don't have to have a separate funnel for every single jar in my house. But the sales funnel that you hear about from one business or another business won't apply for yours. You have to tweak your funnel. You have to understand there are some basic principles to it, but yours is going to be distinct and different. And so instead of a funnel, what if we were to build ourselves a pyramid? The overall structure shape is kind of the same. We flip this over. I've also added a stage here, awareness. I mentioned you can have an awareness ad campaign. Hey, hear about me. You didn't know I existed. Here I am, shiny in Chrome. Okay, that's actually the base. And I get to choose where I put my base. I can tell dads who are over the age of 40 that chicken slippers exist. That might appeal to them. Maybe I tell kids, 15-year-old kids who want to be on a TikTok craze, chicken slippers exist. What I say to them and how I talk about it is going to be super different, even though the product is the same. They're chickens that make a horrible noise when you walk on them. Where I build the base of my pyramid determines then what my landing page says, how I acquire you, how I activate you into adding to cart or doing a free trial, how I get you to actually seriously think about using this product and then finally give me money. All those bits are going to change based off of where I build the base of the pyramid. That's why it's a pyramid, because we're choosing a foundation that is solid, then we're building our way up from there, and we're getting people to cross these 4 gaps, right? The interest gap, the attention gap, the consideration gap, the decision gap. And these fit into the 3 different types of ads I discussed, right? Awareness is obviously awareness. Everybody can figure that one out. There's no surprises here. But then up here, right, the interest gap and the attention gap, this is where I'm problem aware. Right, awareness, I might send you to a landing page. Hey, chicken slippers exist. Okay. Now, am I interested enough to read the page? Am I interested enough to check your, I don't know, augmented reality app where I can see through my iPhone camera my feet wearing chicken slippers, see what they would look like, right? How much engagement can you get here? I'm beginning to consider this is a problem. I could solve it. And then finally, at the consideration and the decision gaps, this is why I'm aware of a solution now. And I'm beginning to decide, do I want to actually pay for this solution? And so when you're thinking of building this revenue engine, you need these different types of ads, these different areas of how you talk about your product and where you position it to move people up. Now, ads aren't the only way to do this. You can use organic content and newsletter content and events and a bunch of other things. But for the purposes of this discussion, ads are how we're going to move people up this pyramid and drive them into a buying action. So, okay. All that said, Trevor, how do I structure Google Ads so they actually make money? Here we are 15 minutes in, and we're finally ready to talk about this subject. So if you were to start building a Google ad campaign, you'd get this. And you go, oh, okay, I'm sure Google, being Google, knows what I should do. And these are probably in some kind of order of operations for how I might want to consider approaching building my ad campaigns, right? That is entirely wrong. Because again, keep in mind, Google's interest and your interest are not aligned. Google wants your money. You would like a business that succeeds. If Google were being truly long-term looking like in the future, yeah, of course, they want you to succeed because the longer your business is successful, the more money they'll get over time. But any Google account rep who's ever called you is only comped on this month's revenue that they earn on the ad account, not lifetime revenue that they've earned from you. So the way this is structured is actually pretty confusing. If we think of the 3 types of ads, I've color-coded them here, but helpfully included no key. So the blue ads here are if I am solution aware, right? I'm going to look at buying a thing, or I'll actually come to your store and then presumably buy a thing, right? That's solution aware. Campaign with no guidance can be any type of campaign. Cool. Leads and website traffic are when you are problem aware. You get a lead they haven't bought yet, but they're asking for more info, or they just come to your website. You got them interested enough to come actually visit you and check you out. And then finally, app promotion and awareness and consideration, well, those are awareness ads. And Google kind of leads you towards the hardest one to work first. There's a bunch of reasons why this is really, really hard to do. First up, you have to know you have a good offer so that the ads engine can optimize for a sale. And then thirdly, you have to have people who are problem aware enough that they've already started to go down into solution awareness, and you can snag them in flight before they make their decision. That's a whole lot of ifs to start with. And a lot of founders begin here, or maybe leads, and say, well, these 2 are the first 2. Sales, maybe I don't want to start with yet. let me start with leads, which is a little easier. Hope the tracking works, and let's go. And so David, when I started working with him, was like, hey, we've run Google ads. They had worked a little bit. We'd like you to take a look at them. Can you make them a little better? And David, let me ask you, when you previously had run ads, you saw this, what happened? What did you do?
Yeah, I think Google Ads is it's an immediate great promise for any business. It's you put dollars in, it will put your brand or whatever message you want to put right at the top. You can target the kinds of questions and searches people are looking to that you want to intercept, and then you can send people over to your business. So it sounds like, dare I say, easy to just, yeah, well, if people are searching for, I want to buy some chicken slippers or just chicken slippers, you write a good enough ad, get it out there. I think to your point that there's a few key components. Like, one, do you know that your offering is good enough? Two, what is your positioning? Which something that we've been chatting a lot about is understanding, running experiments to understand your positioning in the first place, or else you'll position the wrong way, and then you will not see the conversions that you're looking for. And then the challenge of beyond those things is you really start to see you might be able to get some click through. There's billions of people on Google, so you can get some click through in some capacity, but the real thing that matters is conversion. So are you getting conversions? Are you getting signups? And then eventually you're getting checkouts. I think that's where we started to really want to optimize our campaigns to see, like, sure, we can get some pretty amazing conversions on those ads, but are they signing up and are they paying? Because if they're just clicking through the link, it's not worth anything. And that's same for any business, whether you're selling a physical product, your e-commerce business, your SaaS product. You only care if you're at the end of the day, you're getting those final conversions, which is where most of our time has gone now. Optimizing both the positioning through the audience targeting, the copy, and then also making sure all the infrastructure, which is super important to understand, is set up properly. All the Google Analytics and all the page events and what's a primary event versus what's a secondary event, all these things make a big difference. But when you're just getting started with Google Ads, you're just putting a few things in and trying to see what happens. Of course, things take time to learn, but I think that's why this session is so exciting. So, we're trying to skip a few of the learnings that you typically have to have early on with Google Ads, and then you can really start to be scientific about it. Scientific about why you're doing it, what kind of results could you expect, should you expect, and what could you be doing? What might be hindering the results as you're trying to get there.
Excellent. So we started working together. You said, I'd like to optimize things a little more. Trevor, obviously, you've been buying ads for a long time. You're very old. We hope you won't die soon. And as a result of that, we got into your ad account. So I'm going to pop this up real quick. This is just one of the campaigns here that you were running. Talk to me a bit about, you built this. What was the goal for this? How did this get put together? And what were you trying to accomplish? Can you read this? Do I need to zoom in some? How do I zoom in some?
I can see it.
Pop this open. Hey, there we go. We'll pop that up a little bit. You and I will be off camera for a moment so people can see this on stream. Yeah. Talk to me a bit about what you were building here. What happened?
So one day we decided it's time to start trying some Google Ads, and we knew we were trying to target people who are creating video. Right, Minvo is a product that helps you create short form video faster, better. It targets more on like podcasters and entrepreneurs. So we opened up Google Ads, we clicked a few buttons, set up an ad campaign, had no idea what an ad group is, had no idea what the difference between having an ad campaign with one group versus multiple groups was, no idea. But we set it up, and there was some exciting stuff. Like, we were getting some pretty amazing CTRs. You can see that over here. Bidding against one of our competitors did very well. They had a lot of traffic, so we were able to get really great click-throughs. And we're seeing amazing, these click-through rates are insane compared to the benchmarks you expect for paid advertising. Yeah. So, and it worked. And I think this was also at a time where AI was a little bit more hyped as a search term. I think we see slightly different results now. So strategies have to change also over time as user behavior changes when they're searching. But you can really see the weaknesses here. We totally just put every keyword we thought could work, not very scientific. One ad group, saw what happened. And the problem is, sure, this could work for a short amount of time where you're getting users to the door, maybe getting conversions, but there's no scientific method here, so you can't optimize. I think that's where things fall apart. Since there was no theory or no approach and no structure to this Google ad campaign, then it's really just taking another shot in the dark the next time because there's no evaluation. So that's how we started. It worked for a while, honestly. But then as the market changed, as the product changed, as we needed to push further, the foundation wasn't strong enough because we were just putting a bunch of keywords and seeing what could happen.
Yeah. And so you end up here, and I'm not calling out David as some sort of bad businessman. Almost every ad account I go into when the founder has bought ads, if they don't have a background in performance marketing, even folks who know marketing but don't know performance marketing, they do this. So a couple of things here, right? We see, okay, campaign, web-free users. Cool, we're looking to get folks to sign up. That's awesome. Default name ad group 1, okay, eventually this is going to bite you in the butt because a year from now, you're going to be like, what the hell was that? What was this all about? Right? Naming your ad groups intelligently makes, it does future you a favor that right now present you doesn't know or care about. That's fine. But really and you've already called this out here, if we think of the 3 types of ads, right? We have awareness, which, I mean, Memento is you're already aware, but there's none of these are really a branding spend particularly. This is a bit of one, but with that click-through rate of 52%, all these people knew who you were. But then AI video editor is very clearly problem aware and maybe even solution aware. And then Opus Clip Alternative is 100% solution aware. That's a competitive ad. And then Short Video Maker sounds like that's probably problem aware, but not solution aware. So these are all different types of ad, all bucketed into one ad group. Now, Google, generally speaking, optimizes its advertising performance at the ad group level, not at the campaign level, but also not at the individual ad level. It will do some, right? But when you set up this ad group, or when someone does, not just you, David, when someone sets up an ad group, you set the conversion event for that ad group. Now, as it turns out, yeah, you wanted people to sign up for the free trial. But the kind of person who's looking for a short video maker and sees Minvo goes, short video maker with AI, get 10 clips in 60 seconds. Cool. That's a specific set of benefit statements to me that sound good. I will sign up. If the landing page says that, I will convert. An Opus Clip user doesn't care about those things because it's the exact same feature set Opus has. Instead, you have to figure out a way to say we're different and better than Opus. There's some positioning here, right? Is it better integration with social channels so it's one-click publish? Is it more awesome templates you can use to make your videos distinct? Is it faster? Is it there's no monthly limit to how many credits you can consume? Like something you come up with so that I go, oh, I'm an Opus user, but I'm not happy with it. So I'm searching for an alternative. And the 2 times this happens, it's either I'm on free trial and I go, this is cool, but I wish it did this. Or I'm a paying user and either they jack their prices up or I'm just paying enough where I go, I wish there was something more affordable for me, right? And so getting that and finding out which of those is more of your traffic, you would end up testing with both the ad text and the landing page text as you go into this. But you want a different landing page and you want different ads. And then AI video editor, okay, if people know what these are, they're either looking to find the one that they signed up for and can't remember the name, or they saw someone made a video somewhere or talked about it somewhere and they go, oh, I want that. I want an AI video editor. Who's out there? And then for them, probably looks a little more like Short Video Maker, except maybe you benefit from like, here's an AI video editor roundup, right? Here's 5 different ones. Minvo is, of course, best because it's our website. We're not going to say go somewhere else, whatever, right? Like these all have different destinations you want to go to. And because they have different destinations, the conversion event on them is going to be subtly different, but you're training the AI to do one thing. You also directed all these to the same page, which means you're damaging your ability for that Opus Clip user versus that AI video editor user to convert one of them. This landing page will speak to more than the other. So with those ideas in here, looks like David got kicked out. Hey, there we go. Oops. I proactively removed you from the stream. Sorry.
Okay.
There we go. So with that, you're making it hard for the AI to optimize. Now the AI will happily spend all your money. And I would note, we haven't even gotten into the fact here that among your conversions, you had page load as a conversion, right? Saw the web page. But as a main goal for the ad campaign to do, Google goes, great, you saw the web page, job is done, Bob's your uncle, I can go to sleep now. And so your cost per conversion was crazy low because your cost per click was 40 cents and the majority of them loaded the page. Good for you, brother, but they didn't make you very much money. So again, led by Google, this is not you haired off on your own, did something insane. Google said, do this, and then this, and then this, and then now you're live, right? You're gonna go. Look at the numbers go up. It's only a month later where you go, yeah, but my revenue didn't go. That you begin to feel a little bit like you've been screwed over here. So okay, how do we do this then? The first thing is, generally we're going to bucket this into a campaign like Web3 users. I want to get users to try the free trial. Awesome. Then we're going to build an ad group, frequently between 5 to like 15 ad groups per campaign, a bunch. Because each ad group is where Google's really optimizing the events for. Generally, a given ad group will have its own landing page. And then we will give it several different ads to try and drive to that landing page. So if we do an Opus Clip alternative, we're going to have an Opus Clip alternative ad, right? We may have so someone's searching for Opus Clip alternative. Someone might be searching for Opus Clip customer support. And you could have in that same ad group an ad that is, hey, sick of waiting 3 days to hear back from Opus, Minvo's customer support is better. You may have a get free credits for Opus. Okay, sick of being limited by Opus's monthly credits, Minvo offers whatever, something different for you, right? So in the ad group of competitive against Opus, we're running different ads, which may or may not go to the same landing page, but which are finding different appeals. Now, when we write an appeal, there's generally 3 ways to write an appeal to get someone to change their mind, to check you out. There's a logical appeal. We're cheaper, we're faster, we're better. There's an emotional appeal. Opus makes you mad. We don't. Or, man, you're stuck doing, you have to download all the videos from Opus and then upload them to all your channels. That takes an hour. You're frustrated. Or, we used to say appeal to authority, right? 9 out of 10 doctors recommend Crest. Nowadays, we don't care about authority. What we care about is, here's a mom with kids my kid's age, and she says, my kids use Crest and they spit out Colgate because it's too spicy. Done. I'm going to try Crest because I'm sick of having my kids spit out the toothpaste, right? Social proof is what tilts the needle now. So for Minvo, here's a quote. Somebody said, man, I use Minvo, saved me 10 hours a week. My channel grew to 10,000 subscribers a month. Let's go, right? Social proof. So you write one of these, you can test each, see which one works. You will find for different audiences and for different features, different types of appeal will be more performative. But let me explain in like actual tactical example here, right? So a features campaign. A features campaign, if we think of where you are in your journey, if I'm problem aware, I want to know what benefits, or from benefits, what features are going to be the ones that get me most interested in trying out something new. If I am solution aware, I don't need to know AI editing, instant shorts, social export, all these things, because I know that's what comes in these tools. I need to know a comparison. But if I don't know what the solutions are yet, telling me what these benefits are is the right thing. So this is a somewhat on the awareness side, right? Hey, you can AI edit stuff, make YouTube shorts. It's incredible. But also problem aware. Oh, I wish there was something that made it faster to create YouTube shorts. So for podcasters, right? And we can run on podcast software searchers, things like, I mean, Pod, what is it? Podscan on Twitter. I follow Arvid Kal. He has podcasting software he's been developing recently. Or you've got Adobe, I think After Effects is the audio one, or Spotify for podcasters, or like people who are searching for these things, right? Then, hey, instantly make AI edits of your video cast to share on social media. Cool. Or I could do video editing software, right? Descript, Opus as a competitor, Adobe Premiere, QuickTime, any of these. That's if I'm solution aware. If I'm just looking for video editing software for YouTube Shorts, that's a feature specific thing. I don't yet have a solution. So I can have a video editing software competitive campaign, but I want to make sure if I'm doing just my features campaign, I am semantically grouping these the same. I would note in this case, it doesn't make a difference for the AI's performance, just makes a difference for your sanity, right? Because if you have a features campaign and then you do some solutions aware ad groups in the features campaign, you won't know if features campaigns make you more money than solution aware campaigns. So try and keep your data hygiene good as you build these. Now you could have 1 or 2 or 3 or 5 or 15 or 20 ad groups. Your budget's going to make a big difference here, right? I only have $5 a day. Having 15 ad groups in a campaign is pretty silly. So you have to cut things down to, if I only had $5 a day, I might do my features campaign. I'm going to do small company marketers, content creators, and agencies, which is, I believe, actually what we did our first test with, David. And say, great, just for these, let's go, right? The other ones can wait until I have more money. And then we have in these the individual ad that fit into each ad group. So you structure things that way. And now it begins to be much easier, particularly if we start to use UTM link tagging information on the links for every single ad to see what ads got interest, what ads got clicks, what traffic went to landing pages. And then from those landing pages, which ones got actual signups. There's a big open area here. We're post-cookie, which means UTM data isn't as reliable as it used to be. But if every ad in every ad group has its own landing page, doesn't matter what cookie data there is. You know the podcast software AI editing ad is a unique landing page. Any sign up we got from that landing page had to come from that ad. If you build things this way, which is how I built things back in 2005 when the world was new, we didn't have all this tracking. Now things have come a full circle back to where signups on this page must have come from this ad. Websites are basically free to make new pages on, right? Unless you're, I guess, on Webflow. If you're on a more reasonable CMS, right, you can as many pages as you want, as much duplication as you want. Doesn't matter to get your reporting clear. It's okay. Got that. Then we have a competitive campaign, right? This is, you are problem aware, but not solution aware. This is, you are solution aware. Now we have an Opus AI campaign, and then we have what we run to the Opus users in this ad group. So competitive campaign, Opus AI ad group, and here's the ads, right? Faster to use, whatever. We're doing the whole Daft Punk song. And then we also have some templates that some of the stuff you might see is the same, right? Social export, better templates, social growth, and even done for you with Minvo, where Minvo will take care of the whole thing for you. All these are kind of the same in terms of the appeal. We'd write them differently. Because, again, if you know Opus, we can say things like export to 6 social media networks instead of 3, or whatever, as that comparison. So we have a features campaign, a competitive campaign. Until you are quite advanced in your ad buying, I wouldn't tend to do a pure awareness campaign. It tends to be a great way to pour money down a hole. On LinkedIn, I think it's a bit different. We're talking about Google Ads. This is fine. Now, I want to explain to you where you get started here as you kind of build this out. But first, stop. Let's take a moment here before you go away and manically start to buy stuff, right? I have a duplicate slide there, sorry. You need to make sure that you are analyzing this traffic correctly. Now, in a blog post that I'm publishing right after this webinar, I go a lot more in depth into how to set up your Google Ads conversion pixel, your meta tracking pixel, your LinkedIn Insights tag, how to set them up properly. It is really important that you have these set up before you start to build your campaigns. And even if you're only running Google Ads right now, set up the meta pixel, set up the LinkedIn pixel, set up the, TikTok pixel, the Pinterest pixel, the everything pixel, because Google ad traffic tends to be a little bit pricey. It's not crazy LinkedIn prices, but it's going to be a little bit pricey. One of the really powerful things you can do when you have an ad copy, landing page, like it all works, and you're tracking not just Google on there, but also Meta or LinkedIn or something, is you can say to Meta, hey, so of the 1,000 people who I sent to this page, 200 of them signed up, but that means 800 didn't. Can you remarket to them and bring them back? That's going to be one of your cheapest ways to bring in high intent traffic. They came from Google on the expensive click and you brought them back from Meta on a cheap click. But then the other hack here is you build a lookalike audience of the people who came to this page from Google, and you use Meta's lookalike audience. They know everything about us, right? Meta knows things about me that I don't know about me, because that's just how they are. Good for them. But that means if you build a lookalike audience of people who've been to a landing page that you sent ad traffic to, you're going to get people who look a whole lot like them. That's the point of it. They will tend to be really high conversion, particularly for display ads, which tend to not convert super well. But these will tend to convert really well, and they'll be a third to a seventh the price of a Google click. So you've got to set things up properly here. If you go to crowdtamers.com, right after this call, I'm going to publish the newest blog post about how to run your Google ads so they don't lose you money, and how to set up the conversion pixels properly. It's like a 3,000-word blog post. It goes on for a bit, even though I tried to make it all bullet points and pretty short. So before you go buying, and before you buy the campaigns I'm going to lay out for you in the next couple of screens, take a moment, make sure this is set up correctly. Don't just assume it is, test it. There's the Meta Insight Tag Companion. There's the Google Tag Manager test environment. Like, there's a lot of ways to make sure stuff is reporting properly before you spend money on ad traffic. And it is very well worth your while. I mean, my team today, we're going to run a new ad campaign, advertising, among other things. Of course, I'll talk about at the end of this call. And they went, hey, we can't. The pixels aren't tracking properly. Let's hold a day. I will fix the pixel tonight after I've finished all my work for the day. And then tomorrow, they'll be working properly, and we'll run the ad campaign. Or if they're not ready tomorrow, we'll wait. Right? This is something that's worth holding off for. It's okay. Provided you've got this working correctly, you go read from Google their own docs or pick up my article. What do? This is your first ad campaign. Right? This is how you begin. Problem-aware people are going to tend to be easier to shift over to you than people who are a long way down the solution-aware path. Again, if you are B2C, this may change. If you're in the impulse buy territory, right? If you're under, I don't know, $40, $100, whatever impulse buy is these days for your audience, you may actually want to start with solution aware. But most people want to start with, I've got a problem, I'd like to fix it. The problem might not be number one on my list of things to fix right now, but I'd like to fix it. We run ads specific to several of the problems and several of the ways to talk about the problem to landing pages that are bespoke for each. And then Meta remarketing, Google remarketing, and LinkedIn remarketing. We do two things with this. We build problem-aware remarketing ads because, as I've mentioned, 80% of the people who go to this landing page are not going to sign up. They're not going to go any further down the engine. There's a couple of reasons why they may choose not to go further. They may not really be interested. There's going to be a chunk of them. It may just be right then they couldn't do it. Right? They were on the bus stop happened, they got off, turned the phone off, put it in their pocket, they forgot you existed. Remarketing lets you try and bring them back, and it's going to be cheaper traffic. And the other is you build a lookalike list of people who you can serve some awareness ads to, who look like the kind of people who went to your problem landing pages. So you build both of these. For the moment, we're not going to do anything with that list. We're just going to build it. It costs us nothing to do. This, probably 70% of your budget is on cold, and then 30% of your budget is on the remarketing to bring them back. This is already looking a little bit complicated. And if you want to just stop there and run this with this structure, you'll already be doing better than about 80% of founders who build their own thing. But there's another level to it, which gets a little more complicated. And that is the problem-aware ads driving to the problem-aware landing pages. Cool. And then we have our problem-aware remarketing audiences. They're going to go to our remarketing ads, our lookalike lists. And then we've got our comparison LPs for solution-aware ads. If I am already problem-aware, I checked you out, we can try remarketing the solution ads instead of more problem-aware ads to see if we can't bring you further down the engine by saying, hey, in the case of Minvo here, right, I wish I had an AI editor. That's a problem-aware ad. AI editing landing page. I don't sign up. I go, hey, better and cheaper than Opus. Find out more, right? If I'm more problem-aware, if I kept doing my journey, I'll go, oh, I know Opus. Oh, I remember these guys. They're better than Opus. All right, let me check it out, right? And bring them to the landing page. Then we have, at this point, if you don't sign up, and here's an important thing, and I want to capture people who sign up and remarket separately to people who don't. I'm sure you've seen this happen. You go on Amazon, you buy a pair of shoes. For the next month, everywhere you go, people trying to sell you shoes. And you're like, no, I bought them. I have shoes. They're on my feet now. I only have 2 feet. I don't need 4 shoes. Stop it. Because they aren't setting a proper exclusion. You want to make sure you exclude folks who actually sign up here and make an offer, right? Hey, 10% off if you sign up now. Ooh, offer remarketing campaign. That's going to be a really powerful one to you to get folks who are solution aware, haven't the trigger yet. Oh, hey, this is going to be cheaper for me. I will go ahead and go with Minvo today. That's the next level. The last level, where it gets crazy, is once we finally start to add in all of our pieces and we make this where it is driving all the way to a awareness ad campaign as well. Awareness ad campaigns driving you into content pages, right? Not to buy. People don't want to buy. Awareness is, hey, AI video editing is the future. Here's how. On that page, I read the content. I go, oh, wow, this looks super cool. Hey, sign up for a free trial. You can use video editing AI today. Oh, okay. On the landing page, after I've read the content, after I've soaked on the page for 30 seconds, now there's a call to action. Or maybe it's just join our newsletter, whatever, right? We can build a lookalike list for the awareness campaign that brings them back here. And then problem-aware ads and remarket the people who spent time on our website from the awareness ads into problem ads. And then the rest flows as it did. This is a pretty advanced Google ad campaign. This is the kind of thing that you run, especially multi-channel. It's Google ad plus Meta plus LinkedIn. You're probably dumping 10, 15K a month into this engine. When you're doing it right, it'll return 45, 100K a month on the 10 to 15K that you're dumping in. But this takes a long time to build. Don't start here. I know I just gave a big number and a high ROAS, and you go, oh man, I want that kind of return. Yes, but if you try and build this upfront, one, you literally can't because you don't have all the info you need for the remarketing. But two, you will go insane, right? Start here. This is enough where you will make money if the offer and the landing pages are good. Build here over time, hire someone to get you there over time, or if you're really determined to learn how to do it, let me talk about how to build a $1 million marketing engine. I'm doing this exclusively with Minvo this week. There's a link here. You can also just go to crowdtamers.com. And up in the corner, it says Learn Marketing, and there's the Go to Market Mastery Mentorship Community. If you put in the code pre-order, this is a $99 a month course and community. I'm doing interviews with experts every week where you can come participate in chat and ask them questions. I'm doing new content at least once a month for the next 12 months. I already have mapped out of new courses, new content. There's 8 classes in there right now. I've just re-recorded 3 of them this week because I realized that there was my chair was making horrible background noises, and I've learned some new things that can make for better presentation. So we recorded them, new stuff going in. $99 a month usually. If you sign up for the pre-order right now before we kick this off on July 1st, it's $1 for the first month. $1 right now gets you into the community, and all the way till the end of July, you have access in. See if you like it. See if you enjoy the community. The community is basically empty now. There's no one there because we're starting up from scratch. I would love to see you in there to ask questions about, Trevor, how do I build something this crazy or something this effective? Either way, man, I'm not going to judge you. But if you want to check it out, bit.ly/GTM Mastery pre-order. Watch the capitalizations there. They matter. I hope I'll see you in. And I hope you found this useful. Thank you very much for your time. And David, thanks for having me come talk to your audience.
Thanks, Trevor. This was awesome. I think you covered so many of the lessons that we've been learning over on the Minvo side and been implementing. And I'm looking forward to the community and future live sessions where I think we can dive deeper on some specific mistakes, some specific opportunities, how to build stuff out on your landing page, optimizing your ads. So I'm excited. I hope a lot of people in the community here on the Minvo side who are on the business, running their own businesses, got benefit here and got to learn, get some insights on how to do this better. And check out the community, and we're excited to see what we can do next together.
Awesome. Thanks. And anybody who's not watching this live, you shouldn't be shocked if you'll see clips of this made by Minvo live on my social channel starting probably next week. Thanks, everybody. Really appreciate it.